All right, welcome back to Dankscore Traders Hub. Yes, apologies for the delay. Let's get started. As usual, you know how we do this. We start with a prayer, and then of course we get into the analysis. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Father, we thank you for this beautiful morning. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your love. Thank you that we're back onto this session mode where we analyze the charts and look at the signals that we can take advantage of and make this money from this market. We give you praise for yesterday's profits, even though some of us didn't follow up due to some challenges, but we know that those who followed the analysis made some money. And today, as we get started through this morning, Lord, we know that we're going to make even more great money than what we made yesterday. Thank you for the success. Thank you for the profits. We love you and we give you all the glory and the honor. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. So without any further ado, let's get started. We always start with Crash 500. Crash 500. So let's get into it. So usually Crash 500. Yesterday we saw, this is yesterday, let me bring it a bit closer here. So yesterday we saw that we knew price was going to continue selling, and of course indeed it continued selling, hit the TP right in there. So for those who followed this analysis, you should have made that money when it reacted all the way back there, and you should have made this very money right about there. So I hope you guys did that and made this money. And it actually even gave a breakout from that level, retest. This was supposed to be another entry late in the evening. That should have been another entry late in the evening for that for that sell again. So now we can delete everything that we have here, and we get into today. So let's start from daily time frame. So daily we have a break of structure right about there. That is a break of structure on the daily time frame. On the weekly, however, oh yes, even on the weekly we have a break of structure. This is now getting interesting. We also have a break of structure, yeah, on the weekly time frame. We have a break of structure. So since we know that, then we can go to daily and look at what is happening. Yeah, okay, H4. This is a no-go for us right now. We don't have any previous data we can use according to weekly and H4. According to weekly and monthly, we don't have any previous data to give us any support, anything that we can use. We only have this. So far we have, that was a break of structure right there. Then we got a break of structure right here, and now we have another break of structure right there according to the weekly time frame. This one right here, that is a break of structure that we see right there. If I go to daily, it means I can't do anything. I have to wait for the daily to react back to that level where we see the break of structure from, right there, we call that the breaker broke. So all I need is a retest right there. So if I get a retest right there on that breaker broke, then I come in with sales again. That is what I can only anticipate. So if I go to H4, looking at H4, this is another break of structure on H4, which tells us that we also need a buy according to H4 to get back to that breaker broke on H4 and then bring us into sales like that. So that is what we need. So we need price to get back there according to H4. So if we go to H1, H1 now tells us that we need to actually look for buys. But are we ready for the buys? Are we in for the buys? Let's go to H1 again. Yes, there's some price rejection right there. According to those previous H1 candles, you can see price rejection, so that can tell you that the buy is on. And if you go to M15, you see the price is above our 10 MA. Yeah, and on H1 it is quite close to our 10 MA. So can we wait for this H4 candle to close? Let's go to H4 candle. I think we can. But since we are looking for a pullback to that level, let's go to M15. M15 is looking for buys. I think I can easily make an entry for the buys. Yeah, I think I can easily make an entry for the buys. Let me first make this. It should be like a flag right here. It should be like a flag right there. So it tells us we need to get up there. Of course, the first tip will be this difference here. So I can easily enter now and add another limit order below it right here. I can easily make my entry here. Can easily make my entry here. I want profits right about there, or even to that breaker broke all the way there. I can add another limit order down below here when it tries to give us a pullback. But then I don't want to risk, I won't risk beyond this low. Yeah, that is how I'll be dealing with that kind of a loss. Yeah, so for me now I can copy this stop loss, put it also on the limit order, and then just wait for this buy to continue. So we've entered the buy, but we have another entry down below just in case it tries to make a pullback before it continues with the buy. The reason we are entering this buy is we have seen a break of structure on H4, but then we need a pullback to this level, and then we continue selling. Then later If it fails to give us a break of structure on H4, then we come in with buys to take us all the way up there for the daily pullback or for the daily lower high creation right about there. This is an H4 a lower high creation right here. We have a lower low, then we are looking for a lower high right here. If it fails to give us a new lower low on H4, then we will enter buys to create a lower high of daily time frame right about there. This is the lower high of daily time frame, having seen a break of structure right about there. That is enough on crash 500. Let's now get to boom 1000. Let's go to boom 1000. So boom 1000, what happened? Let's go to H1. Yesterday, oh yes, yesterday we knew that we wanted a fake breakout, yes, first here or there, then we come in with the buys because we knew that this is a pennant and the buys will continue. Yeah, that was the idea, the buys to continue. But the pullback never happened. Right here we had a pullback within the M15. We wanted a pullback within the M15 so that we can enter buys, and then probably from there we can get a sell to push us for the fake breakout. We never got that, so it means these two, they still remain as our points of interest. These two, this order block and that fair value gap, they still remain as our points of interest, so we cannot remove them yet. We still have them. We are still going to use them probably actually now. Yeah, from what I see, we have now a break of structure on H4. That tells us that we are likely to see a pullback to all the way this level. It may not even come to this now. It may fail to respect this fair value gap. If we get into the cells, it's gonna come all the way to this order block. So let me go to daily and see what is happening. All right, okay, yes. So if I look at the daily time frame, allow me to first delete these now, because there's something I've seen on the daily time frame that I did not pay attention yesterday. I did not pay attention to it yesterday. So let me first delete everything that we used yesterday. Delete that. So that one has been taken out. So now if I go to daily time frame and I want to zoom in a bit, you will realize that this fair value gap right about here was actually mitigated of the daily fair value gap right there and right there. It was mitigated. You can see it. It went in. It was mitigated right there. 50% of it right about there. So it mitigated this fair value gap according to daily time frame, not H4. So it tells us that the H4 one will not be respected at all. The H4 one will never be respected, since it has respected this daily time frame one. Since it respected this daily time frame one, now we can have our order block right about there of the daily time frame, and we hope for a pullback. We now hope for a pullback. So I'm going to delete that fair value gap, and now we anticipate a pullback there for the buys to come in later. So If I bring it back here, looking at daily, we still need buys, but looking at H4, we need a pullback. Looking at what we have on CCI, that is overbought already, meaning we are likely to see some some sell entries come in later if we get something like that around that area. So for now, go to H1. H1 is likely to give it to us, yeah, because it is also already overbought, meaning sales are coming in very soon. So what do? We probably wait for H4. We can wait for H4 to be ready. So I may not do anything much here. I may just wait for H4. So first, go back to daily. I want to delete some of these now. Delete everything right about there that are no longer in use. So delete everything right about there. Come back to daily. Delete even this. Alright, so come to H4, and that's what we need. That's what we need. So for now, we wait for such a sell move that is coming probably today. Yeah, probably today or at the end of today. We may first see some consolidation here before it breaks out to continue with the kind of sell that we need. All right, enough of Boom 1000. Let's go to Boom 500. So Boom 500, okay, this is what we needed yesterday. We wanted pullback, then retest, then we get into sales yesterday. So the whole of yesterday, it was a mess. You can see price kept on playing within there. It didn't do anything much. So we it's still, price is now below our 10 MA on H4. It is below our 10, not yet. It was below our 10 MA on H1 also, but from what we see, we can't do much with it. Yeah, it is still a no-go for us. Boomer 500, don't waste your time on it. We are still looking for the same kind of structure, price structure right here to give us an entry for the sell. So for now, don't waste your time on it. Let's go to V25S. V25S. Vol25 1S. Please don't, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and those who are on TikTok, of course, you can always follow us. Subscribe, YouTubers, if it is your first time. Those who are on TikTok, go ahead and follow us, and also comment, like, whatever you want. We are here to trade together. V25S, yesterday we knew that, but then from that point we needed sells. So what changed? The structure changed. It got enough momentum. Let's see, yesterday, no, we did not enter. So we knew that it is going to reach there, then probably we get into sells, but it got some momentum to break out that level, which was an order block, and then became a support, a resistance. Now it is a support. Why is it a support? Price has broken and reacted to it right there. So now it is a support. So we are seeing break of structure according to H1. According to H4, still the same thing. We see a break of structure. And now, if we clearly look at what we have on H4, we realize it was a pennant. Yeah, so now I can delete this. This is what I'm talking about. Let me remove that. Let me use it right here. It was sort of a pennant, or you can call it an ascending triangle. Let's call it an ascending triangle. That is an ascending triangle right about there. That is what we see. That is what we see. So that is what happened. That's why price continued with the previous trend. So without wasting time, we know that price is going all the way to that level. Yeah, it is still moving. It is still moving. So according to daily, price is still pushing all the way up there. So it hit the first TP there, then it consolidated. We've been following it closely. So now it is going all the way there. It is going all the way there. That is where we are going to see that TP. Now, for those that have been following with us, you know why we've been looking for that. Yeah, you know why we've been looking for buys for so long. This was a support area, a resistance area right there. So we knew that price is going to continue with buys due to some patterns that we already had. This one right here, this was a rising wedge, but then we knew that it is going to continue with buys, and that was the TP that was hit probably yesterday or the day before right there. So now it has now given us a pennant, an ascending triangle here, and it is still showing us that it has to continue with this very other move, and that's why we are saying it's going all the way up there. I hope we are together there. I hope we are together there. So go back to weekly. That is what we want right there. Oh no, that's what we needed right there, but now we need this, which is according to H4. So we need it right there. So can we make an entry? Not really. We have no way to make an entry for that kind of a buy. What we need is a pullback on H4. Yeah, what we need is a pullback on H4 before we get into buys again to continue all the way up there. We have a break of structure, so we need a pullback to this level where we have a break of structure. So we will need something like this pullback here, and then come in with the buys. Come in with the buys to take us all the way to our target. Take us all the way to our target. So for now, we wait for this kind of a pullback. So if we go to HM15, yeah, we sort of have what we need. Sort of, it's going to be like a double top right there. If price fails to break that previous high, then it's going to be a double top, and that will be your neckline. Those who studied these, you know what we are talking about. But also, if you use smart money, you know that that will be taken as your change of character on M15, and that will be pushing you all the way to that level. All right, so M15, we are done. We know that if this price fails to break it and breaks this other level, which is our current higher low, if price breaks our current higher low, then we will come in with sells. That is what we will anticipate. So simple as this. And then sometimes we don't see a pullback, sometimes we do. So you can immediately enter your sales when price goes below this line and enter another trade when it retests that level, having given you a lower low right here. Then you can enter on a lower high creation when it gives it to you and continue with sales. All right, that is enough on crash on a V25S. Let's go to V75. V75, yeah, we knew this and it actually happened. It continued with that. It has hit TP, just like you see. It has hit TP. Yesterday we knew that the sales are going to continue. Did we enter any sales? I was meant to put limit order, I did not, but there the sales continued. So right about now, if I go to H4, I still see sales are continuing. Now we had this order block and that fair value gap, so the fair value gap has not been respected, so it is coming to this order block. But then I want to go to daily time frame, I get to see what is happening. So according to daily time frame, I still need sales. So sales are likely to come back all the way to that support level, according to daily time frame. Yeah. Okay, so now we wait and see. Of course, it has now reacted, it has touched this order block, and most of the times when price is reacting to an order block that initiated or that triggered the big momentum of a certain move, then it only touches it and doesn't go even inside that order block. So for now, we may or we may not see buys rise from this level. We just have to be patient. So if I go to H4, I realize that we are oversold on H1, I mean, not H4. H4, we've touched that order block, but then H1, we are oversold. So what does that tell us? It tells us that we're likely to start buys. So if I go to M15, I need to wait for a reversal signal to initiate me into buys. Yeah, so for now, this is a no-go for me. I have to wait. I can easily now delete these, delete that, delete. No need of all that now. Come back to H. Okay, first wait for these. First leave these ones now. Have that one up there, and yeah, now we wait for M15 to give us an entry, meaning we wait for a reversal kind of signal on M15. J50, let's push J50. Jump 50. So jump 50, we needed buys yesterday. Yeah, but like I told you, don't waste your time on it because it was still very slow. You can see the whole of yesterday. It went until what time? That's when it got some momentum, until 18, 19, 20, until 8 p.m. Until 8 p.m. That's when it got some buy momentum, having given a fake breakout on that support. You can see, having given a fake breakout there, it got a good momentum of buys to get into that kind of a momentum. So right now we know that buys have started. Looking at what we have on the daily time frame, having reacted to that support. Yeah, now if I go to H4, I want to first see why it was that order block. Okay, so it has reacted to it again. So now come back to H4, we are oversold, sorry. Then if I go to H1, I'm overbought. That means I need some sales to come in and then probably come all the way back to where it's gonna be weird, but yeah, the sales are coming in. First delete that, go to H1, H4, daily, delete that, all that was never respected, so delete everything there. I need buys, so if I need buys and price is above my 10 MA on H4, M15 price is above my 10 MA, then what am I doing? I need to be in buys. This pullback was not enough from here. This pullback was not enough from there. Is it going to come all the way to this? I doubt it will, but there's a possibility that it can come back to it, so you can't rule it out. Yeah, you can't rule it out. So come back to H4. Yeah, there's a possibility it's going to come back to that, then get into buys. If price fails to break this right there, then we will see a sell to bring us all the way to that fair value gap on H1. To bring us all the way there, and then we can get into the buys to take us right about there. So for now, delete this. Don't focus on it unless price fails to break that level. If it fails to break that level, then the sell is going to come in. If it breaks it, then you have no entry to actually continue with the buys. Why are we not entering buys? We are overbought right there on H1 and of course even M15. So we can't just enter now there. We just have to be careful. J25. What is happening? All right, so J25. Wait a minute. What? I think I entered. No, not this one. It's not this one. So J25. Yes, we saw that on the other day. So we wanted, this was Monday, so we wanted, our sales came in and now we got a change of character right here. This was like a pullback to that change of character to test that level, and then we continue with buys. So we saw that yesterday and the buys continued. We got a break of structure here to give us a higher high according to H1. Give us a higher high according to H1 here. Now it has given us a higher low. It has given us a higher low here, but somehow higher low, then went, failed to give us a higher high. Try to go for a breakout on that, but that was a fake breakout. So we can't say we have a lower low. So it means this is still all a mess. This is a higher low. Tried to go for a new higher high, it failed. Then it came back, tried to break the higher low to give us a lower low, but it failed. So this is all a mess. If I go to H1, if I go to H4, I mean, then it makes sense here that I have a higher high here, break of structure, higher high, higher low. Now this candle that I've just started, should be a buy candle to push for a new higher high. Yeah, that's for sure. So what is happening? Price on H4 or H1 is below our 10 MA, but then if I come to HM15, this is one of those trades that you can decide to enter on H4 and follow H4 and don't wait for the entry on M15, but then it means you'll be risking, and it means you cannot enter it if you have a small account. It's one of those trades that you decide you are going to use H4, not any lower time frame. Because if I see something, if I look at M15 right here, it will give me confusion. It will give me some confusion. But this confusion is actually showing me that we are going to continue with buys. Yeah, at the end of this very thing. So that's the reason why I'm saying this is one of those assets. I mean, that one time where you decide that you enter on H4, and because looking at H4 there is no liquidity left back to come and look for. On H4 you can't, even on H1 we don't see any liquidity left back. The price has to come back to look for. So this fair value gap was taken out, this one here was taken out, so I choose to make my entry right here. Yeah, choose to make my entry right here, and I'll put my stop loss just a bit below there, and then I'll be looking for profits right about there. My first TP is right there. Yeah, second TP will be right here, like that. Second TP will be right there, so I can add a limit order. Just here, just in case if it tries to come back. Then, and this will have my TP will be there, all the way there for the second TP if it comes and activates it. So my second entry, this will have its TP all the way up there. So that's how I'm gonna work with it. Remember I've entered this asset according to H4 and probably even H1, so that's why I've decided to do that. All right, that's enough on J25. Let's now go to J10. Yeah, J10 we were off a bit. Yeah, J10 yesterday we remember power was off, so my APC shut down when I was already in a trade on J10 and I couldn't manage it. So let's look at it. So this was a trade. I think this was a trade right there. I don't remember if I had it like this, but yeah, this was a trade. I entered the buy. I had entered the buy already. Yeah, the reason of this buy was not that. The reason was of a heads and shoulder right in here, right there. This is a head, this is a left shoulder, right shoulder. So I was looking for the buys. That's the reason why I entered. So our TP was supposed to be right there. That's why that was supposed to be our TP. So I entered a buy and it went smoothly, actually, with some like an hour and a half or 2 hours it was in buys, right there until it came and took me out right there, having created this kind of a structure, which is a rising wedge, and clearly that signifies continuation of the previous trend, and that's why this continued to hit that TP right there. Later on it broke out there from that consolidation area. So during the day, because yesterday the whole of the day we didn't have power, so I should have probably taken my profits if I had seen that it was creating this kind of a structure. So now I can easily delete all that, and this was never followed. So now come back to H1. Let's look at today. What is happening? Delete that. So looking at the daily time frame, price is now when CCCI and RSI right there, price is oversold. Looking at the weekly, however, we had a change of character there. We should be getting into buys. Yeah, looking at daily, we should be looking for buys in the near future. Okay, so if I go to H4 is not yet oversold, but if I go to H1, I see buys. Why do I see buys? Because of this on M15. But that tells us that we are not yet ready to enter those buys. We are just getting things sorted out for a clear one. So all I need is now a breakout there to give us a higher high, and then pull back, and then we come in with the buys. That is what I need. That's what I need for me to make this kind of an entry. So for now, what does that tell us? That tells us that we have no way to make an entry unless if you're a risk taker. You can enter on H1, put your stop loss below this line or below this 10 MA, and take your profits when you feel like you can take, or when it comes to this level, to that high there, and you take your profits. Yeah, it is going to be a short trade if you enter right now. That's why I prefer waiting for a pullback, then you make the clean entry for the buy. So for now, I won't be entering any trade on J10. That's it. Lastly is gold. We analyzed gold yesterday, and actually power went off. The laptop shut down when we were analyzing gold. So this was the analysis. So of course we remember that on Monday we analyzed that, and that was a clean buy trade. Like I told you yesterday, that was a clean buy trade. We sold it, then we bought it. That was a clean buy, but then when it reached there, we anticipated sales, and the anticipation yesterday, I'll first delete this and that. The anticipation of a sell was a pullback either to this level, which was a retracement level on Fib, but also I told you there's a chance of it coming back to this order block. Why? Because it's where this buy momentum started from. So it did not respect this fair value gap, then it went all the way to this level. That's the level I was talking about. So now we can delete this. It came all the way to this order block, but then it also failed to respect it. It broke it and went to this other order block, which is H4 fair value gap. It also did not respect it because it had already respected it right here. So when it came back, it failed to respect it. So we can delete these two. But what we see is respecting, it's trying to react to this order block, that candle or that level where the buy momentum here started from, this buy momentum. But then down below we have this other one, we have this order block right about there. So when you look at H4, price is still far away from the moving average. Yep. If I go to daily time frame, it's still far away from the moving average. But then you have an order block, a daily order block right there that price can easily react to and then give us this kind of a buy that we need to reach that fair value gap right there, the daily fair value gap. So right now I can tell you that the sales are likely to continue. So if I go to H1, yes, price is trying to react to that level, but it's likely not to hold. It's likely to continue. Why? Because price is still below a 10 MA. If you go to M15, price is below a 10 MA, meaning sales are still taking control. Sellers are still having the control. So we may not see it continue like this and probably do a retest to give us that sell, to give us that kind of a sell. To give us that kind of a sell, or it may actually continue. So I may not trade gold now until it reacts all the way back to this daily order block. I may not trade gold until it reacts to this daily order block, and then I enter my buys from there. So for now, it's a no-go. It's really, I'm not going to waste my time on it. But if I go to M15, let me show you this. This can make things clearer. If you're still having your doubts, this can make things clearer. So this is, we all know this. When we see something like this, this kind of a structure, we know that it is a continuation of the previous trend. That is it. So you don't have, I cannot enter sales here. I can wait for price to reach there, or even to react to that fair value gap like I showed you on H4, but it may not even reach there. It may not give us that. So if price reacts to this resistance trend line right here, I can easily enter sales to bring me all the way to this order block, which is a daily order block, here. So for now, no business with it until I see some sort of a pullback. So this is how I'm going to trade this. In fact, let me delete this now, delete that. I may even delete this. Let me just leave it there for now, because price can easily go back to it. This is gold. We are not market movers, we are market followers. So I can't entirely depend on the analysis I've made. I can only follow what the market gives me. If it fits within the analysis I've made, the anticipation, then I make an entry. If it doesn't fit in, then I change the analysis and follow what the market is giving me. So for now, I can follow this according to M15. If it gives it to me right about there, then I enter my sales. If it breaks this level, then it goes all the way to that fair value gap, grab that liquidity, and then gives us that kind of a sell. So we have to understand that. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'll be looking for. So something like that is what I will anticipate both on M15 and H1. So if I get something like this or this here, I have my sells. I will have my sells. But for now, please, those who are on M5, you can always look for scalping this back to that, because now you know that you have a range there. That is the first range. Here you have the second range, meaning price is still playing within these two limits. All right, let's look at a recap, and we call it a day. Let's go for the recap. So we started with crash 500, and the buy, we are already in some profits. Yeah, I told you the buy is right going to that level, but of course you have your TP level is right here according to M15. But yeah, the buy is coming there, and that is only and only if it breaks this level. Because normally with lower time frame, price can easily change structure from there, and this becomes another point that you can use. So be in know of that and don't get caught off guard. And of course, remember to use a stop loss that is calculated from your risk tolerance. All right, boom 1000. This is still a no-go until price reacts to that level and fails. If it fails to break that, then you can come in with sells. Yeah, boom 1000, boom 500. This, like for it, it's a no-go. Don't waste your time on it until you have a clear structure like this. This wasn't good enough. We needed to react within there, probably like that. So for now, it's a no-go. Don't waste your time on this boom of 500, unless if you're scalping it on lower time frames, of which it becomes a bit tricky. But yeah, you can scalp it on M15, M5, M15 and M1. You can make your scalps the way you want them. All right, so I want to leave this on H1 and go to V25S. Now we have a breakout. That means everything here changes. Yeah, like I told you, if price gives us a break, of structure there, then everything here changes. So we change. So now we can't do anything. Come to M15, H1, and we wait for H1 to give us, to finish creating a higher high. Then we can anticipate the retracement of this level. So probably it will be this level, not this level. Yeah, it's likely to be that level to give us the pullback. So for now, V25, I have no business with it. V25 1S. Let's go to V75. So we said we are still looking for sales, but then, like I told you, it has reacted to that fair value, that order block, and I told you we can easily now anticipate buys, but we cannot enter buys unless we have a reversal signal. So all we need now is a reversal signal on H1. This would have been a sniper entry, but you would have risked a lot. So all you need is now a reversal signal right here, or just a pullback probably to this order block, and then you have your entry. So for now, this is a no-go for now, but we are likely to get into some good buys right about here. J50 If price fails to break that level, then sales are coming in, and then we enter buys from such a level. So for now, we wait. We have no business with it until this candle closes. We have no business with it. We need sales to come in and probably react from this level, which is a Fib retracement level. Then we can come in with buys. But if it breaks this level, then everything changes, meaning it gives you a break of structure, so you wait for a pullback to the breaker broke. J25, the buys are on. Like I told you, this was an entry on H1 and H4, and the buy is on, like I told you, because there's no any liquidity left back for price to come back for. So right here, that's why we entered buys. So we are in some profits, but not yet clear out of the pullback, because we still have this resistance trend line. It can react to that and then gives a pullback. So for now, we wait. That's why I have my other limit order waiting here, just in case it makes a pullback. In fact, I should put it right there. Yeah. All right, let's now head over to J10. Unless I see something like this, I have no business with this asset. So till then, I can't trade it. Lastly is gold. Gold, we are going to sell it, yeah, but knowing that when it reacts to this order block, which is a daily order block, we will be looking for buys from this level, from that level, from this order block here. This is an H4 order block, and of course it is also a daily order block right there. So if price reacts to it, then we come in with buys. But until then, we wait for the sell entry, probably when price reacts all the way back here, then we can enter sells on M5. So until then, no business. I will wait for this kind of a move. I think that's it for today. I hope you guys had a great time. I see Judy was around, Desmond was around, Felix. Hope you guys had a great time. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and of course those who are on TikTok, you can always find us. Those who are on TikTok, I hope you followed us on YouTube and you had a great time. Let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading day. See you. Today is a Wednesday, so we missed to do a BTC analysis yesterday, so we will have a BTC analysis on Friday. Yeah, those who still want to join the VIP signals, you have the information on your screen. And those who want to join the mentorship class, yeah, we are just we've been having some issues with power and what have you, so you can still join us if you want to join the mentorship class, because we just missed one class. So today will be the second class of the July mentorship class. All right, let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading. See you tomorrow same time, 10:30 to 11:30.